Hey, what's going on, cammed up caveman? How you doing, brother? So, give me some 5x5 so I know I've got comms. So I'm on my way to the gym. So you guys know how I do it on the Saturdays and Sundays. I like to try and go live while I'm cruising to the gym to kill two birds with one stone. I am attorney Michael Ehline. I am licensed to practice law in California and Texas, and I have a background in criminal defense, civil rights, appellate law, and the main practice that I'm engaged in modernly is catastrophic injury cases, car accidents, truck accidents, motorcycle accidents. And I primarily represent military veterans because I am an inactive United States Marine and I'm tired of seeing my brothers constantly getting screwed by insurance companies. So I have a little bit different of a background than most people that are lawyers. I became a lawyer on the law study program after I was attacked by a West Covina police officer over a parking ticket because I asked him for his ID and I popped off to him. And he charged me with resisting, obstructing, delaying under Penal Code Section 148 in California. I beat those charges and then I brought a Monell claim against him under Title 42, Section 1983. Prior to that, I was a paralegal and I had several small businesses, including a construction company, which is where I realized I needed to learn the law because people would always try to screw me in the contracts. And so that background, experience, knowledge, and skill in my legal training helped me beat that cop. And then a friend of mine told me about how to become a lawyer with no law degree or undergrad. And so I did that. And I worked my way up doing it the old fashioned way, clerking for lawyers. And then ultimately, I became a judicial extern for the California Court of Appeal. So I have a very strong background in this. And my love, obviously being a disabled Marine, is firearms, the Second Amendment, self-defense, martial arts, Second Amendment. That is my love. But unfortunately, you can't make a lot of money. You can't make a lot of money in Second Amendment rights cases. So it's what I typically do is I'll pro hawk in on cases, or I'll just assist my other friends like Alan Beck, who is, I believe, one of the preeminent Second Amendment rights lawyers in the United States. And he's the one who introduced me to Dick Heller of District of Columbia versus Heller, which is the seminal case on firearms rights in the United States. Hey, James, good seeing you. No, Grateful Dabs, Title 42, Section 1983. Sorry, it's hard for me to pay attention to you guys when I'm driving. I don't want to end up becoming a statistic, so just bear with me. So obviously, I love Second Amendment rights channels, and Armed Fisherman is one of my favorites. Give me a bunch of ones if you guys know who Armed Fisherman is. Armed Fisherman is definitely one of my favorite guys on YouTube, and this is a guy where he does government accountability operations and redress operations where he'll go around with his fishing gear, armed with an AR and a handgun. And then, of course, they'll make false arrests against him. They'll beat him up. They'll falsely imprison him. And then he'll go to city council or county council meetings and complain and seek redress. And he reminds me in many ways of like a Lane Myers because he actually goes to the council meetings, he'll wear his tactical vest. I just think the guy's cool. So you'll see that I'm not like most lawyers in that regard. I don't hate police. I don't hate law enforcement. I've represented a lot of whistleblower cops, and I believe that a lot of people join the police department because they think that they're going to be protecting and serving the Constitution and the people. And a lot of them realize after they've been there for some time that they've got to toe the thin blue line. And so to me, the bravest of the brave are the ones who are willing to be whistleblowers and hold their command accountable. And so I'm a little bit different than most of the First Amendment auditors who just absolutely hate cops because I don't believe that you can win by trying to win over people. We need to win people over. And so I do have a lot of police who watch my show, and I teach them about the law and help them understand what they're doing that's unlawful. Because a lot of these guys were inactive Marines like me, and they don't want to violate your rights. They're all about that Second Amendment. So just keep that in mind, guys. Have an open mind when you watch my channel. And what's the matter, you? Give me a bunch of ones, bro. Good seeing you, man. And James Forbes, as always, brother Marine. So I'm on my way to the gym again, so it's not going to be that long. And this is basically, I'm going to use this show as a bumper because today at 5 o'clock, 1700 for you military guys, Eastern Time, I'm going to be a guest on John Filax's channel. He likes to be called John Felix, but it's spelled Filax, Filax, right? But he likes it when I call him John Felix. And he's going to break down what happened to armed fisherman and his false arrest. And we're going to talk about what happened when he protested at a limited public forum. I believe it was at a Florida library. And some of the information that the armed fishermen found out about one of these public servants, that we see this more and more with these public servants, where they'll buy a house out of state. They'll register that house as their permanent address for tax purposes, but then they'll run for government in the adjoining county or city while claiming that they live there, which is against the law. So my biggest thing about public servants is that if the mayor, if the president, if the people in the executive positions are violating the law, that's the example. That's the example for the peace officers. They just see, our command's breaking the law, so we should be able to as well. That's exactly what's going on. So, Howard, it's going to be 1700 Eastern, and I believe that is 2 o'clock Pacific. So 2 o'clock Pacific, which would be 1400 hours Pacific, and 1700 hours Eastern. And that's going to be on John Felix's channel. And I will, when I get back from the gym, I'll drop a link to his live stream. He's going to be live streaming that with me as a guest today. So it should be good. I'm hoping that we'll learn a lot. And again, since I'm not licensed to practice law in Florida, what I'm going to do is just give you my point of view as a lawyer and how I would handle a case like this in federal court or in California or Texas. And I'm sure it's not much different than Florida. But obviously, I don't want to get in trouble with the Florida State Bar for giving you information that I'm not allowed to talk about, since I'm not licensed or a member of their bar. And I don't really have any eagerness to become a member of any more bars. As it is, I've got to take continuing legal education classes for 2 bars every year, and it's a lot of work, and pay 2 bar fees. And of course, California, man, it's like a car payment. Their freaking bar fees are so expensive, and they just waste your money. So I just am going to be discussing general legal principles, and I'll get into the law on limited public forums. And make sure, yeah, that's right. Double tap that screen, guys. Make sure to save. And so, and again, for you guys who are watching my show, who are peace officers or cops, I'm not coming at this like I'm your enemy or that I'm like anti-police or whatever. I think that peace officers serve a very important function. And when my dad was growing up, my dad used to drag race on the 22 freeway while it was under construction with him and his buddies. That's when they had dragsters. They were building 327 Chevys. The rich guys all had Mopar. And the local police would come out and they'd watch the drag races. They knew all the local kids by their first names. They weren't just out trying to raise revenue, okay? It was different. And that's what happens when you have hegemony in your country. When you flood your country with illegal aliens, people who refuse to endorse the American way and try to force their bullshit third world shithole countries on us, what we have is it morphs the police into a revenue generating organization instead of peacekeeping. Because obviously, without hegemony, you have dissension, and you have us against them. And so that's ultimately, in my opinion, that's one of the main reasons why police have morphed into revenue generation as opposed to upholding rights. And I think that a lot of cops, good cops, they have the right. They're basically acting as a magistrate when they pull you over. And they have the right to charge you or not. And if I was a cop and I pulled someone over and I saw a firearm that was unsecured in their car in California, because California requires you to keep it in a locked container, I would ignore it. I would do justice and I would say, you know what? I know what the Second Amendment says. Fuck that. Here's your ticket for speeding. Please don't speed, or give them a warning and let them go. But modernly, it's just all about making that arrest. It's about doing whatever the mayor wants because the mayor's getting a kickback from the prison industrial complex, or maybe even a judge getting a kickback from the prison industrial complex. They're getting money for that, private prisons, and it's become a racket, almost like RICO. And so modernly, the the police have basically become an us against them organization. And I'm hoping that with my show and with people on my channel, we can form parallel systems and we can win them over instead of winning over them, and help them understand that we don't hate them. We want to help them understand what the law is. And that's right. That's right. What's the matter, you? And again, I've got all kinds of people on my channel. I've got people who absolutely hate cops. I have people who are libertarians. I even have a couple of Marxist Democrats, but they usually don't like me because I don't support wealth redistribution and I don't support open borders when we're giving people free things to sneak into our country and immediately get on welfare or get on temporary protective status and get SNAP benefits and receive sometimes $5,000 or more dollars a month just so they can help Democrats redistrict uh, sanctuary cities with additional congressional seats. And as what's the matter, you would say, help keep the prison industrial complex full of prisoners. I don't support any of that crap. I am a libertarian, and I would support open borders if our government didn't give illegal aliens free stuff to come here. So that's a little bit difference about me. But I got a lot of people, Republicans who support Trump, conservatives who don't support Trump because Trump is an old school Democrat, tax and spend liberal who supports a few of the things that I support. But you're not going to pigeonhole me by calling me a MAGA or this or that. There's some things that I agree with Democrats about, very few things anymore. I'm a recovering Democrat. And there are some things I agree with Republicans on, but I'm a free thinker. So just to give you a little bit of a foundation about me and what this show does. I'm a homeschooler. I believe in homesteading. I believe in creating parallel systems and not being involved with these Luciferian corporations that are trying to tell boys that they're girls and girls that they're boys and all that stuff. So really quickly, armed scholar again, in Florida, apparently they have a law that says while you're going to and from your fishing location, because they have alligators and stuff there, right? But it shouldn't even matter, to be honest. I mean, you should be able to carry wherever you want, pretty much. And I believe in reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions. I do, but obviously, if you're going fishing in Florida, you should be able to have your AR strapped on you. You should be able to open carry a handgun because they got freaking alligators, man. So what he does is he'll park his car, he'll grab his fishing pole, he sometimes even wears a sign, armed fisherman or whatever he has on there. Everybody knows who he is, including the cops. And he'll walk to his fishing location. And then 9 times out of 10, the cops will harass him, throw him on the ground, beat him up, try to arrest him. Typically, a sergeant will come out and ultimately let him go. But it's all part of the harassment to try and infringe on your God-granted unalienable right to keep and bear arms. Make no mistake about it. They already know that this guy has the right to keep and bear arms. They already know that they have no lawful basis to make an arrest. But what they do is they harass him and play stupid, make him wait for an unreasonable amount of time until a sergeant can come out or a supervising officer can come out, and then they let him go after they've already skinned up his knees, put the torture cuffs on him, And it's just unacceptable to me what they do to this guy. I really think that this guy is a patriot. He's one of the bravest guys that I've ever seen on the internet because he's always facing potentially getting shot. That is bravery. That is it. Thomas Jefferson, Adam Smith, Samuel Adams bravery. Give me a bunch of ones for armed freaking fishermen. All right, please do that for me, and make sure to like and subscribe to his channel as well. Is John Felix or John Felix? And again, I'll be doing a show today live, covering this today live um, at 3 o'clock. Wait, no, 2 o'clock Pacific, which is 1400 hours Pacific, and 5 o'clock Eastern, which is 1700 hours Eastern. And we're going to cover his latest arrest, where, like Lane Myers, and it's very eerily similar to Lane Myers, because Lane Myers, when he got arrested for saying boo at a city council meeting, the city council meeting was about another one of these far left commie piece of shit mayors or councilmen, councilwomen who don't support the Second Amendment. They want to flood your country with illegals and criminals from third world countries, and then also take away your ability to defend against them. These people are treasonous pieces of garbage. And so, in this case, armed fishermen, just like Lane Myers, has done some investigative journalism on these people at the city council. And I believe, we're going to find out today from John Felix, that he discovered information that, like a lot of these other commies, had listed herself as an out-of-state or out-of-county resident and still ran for office in this other place where she actively presides as an elected politician. And so he's been harassed by police because of this, just like Lane Myers, and now he's been arrested, just like Lane Myers. So just so you guys can see what's going on, I mean, this is no joke, guys. This is happening all over the country. And even though these people know that you have the right to do these things, their approach is, if they can put you in fear and intimidate you and silence you enough, you'll just give up. You'll just give up and you'll stop fighting for your rights, because the amount of money that you have to spend, the time that you lose running your business, the time that you would have to be able to support your family is flushed down the shitter. And that, in my opinion, is the goal of the Marxist left, as well as the Rhino Republicans, to silence people and to prevent them or intimidate them from exercising their God-granted unalienable rights. And we're also going to talk about Long Island audits and his recent brush with the law. And so John is going to be on there with me and sort of give me the facts, and I'm going to break down the law from the perspective of a lawyer and a defender of we the freaking people, because that's what I am about. I am about you guys, and you guys know that I don't sit here and beg for super chats. I don't sit here and beg for you guys to give me money. It is a donations only channel. I make my money and support my Federal Reserve notes by having a regular job. And yeah, if I could turn this into an online business where I could support my family, you better believe it that I would be doing these shows all the time. But I bring them to you the best way that I can within my affordability level, to where I can still support my family and my wife and kids, homeschool my daughter and my son. So that's what I do. So it is about showing their rights. That's right, man. That's right. In California, Grateful Dab says that I used to see rifles. Well, they made that illegal in California, to be able to have rifle racks in the back of your truck. And that's just the commies. They get these estrogen-filled women who are usually single, and they're collecting some kind of government benefits. And they're like, oh, you should be scared of these people. They're so threatening. Vote for me and I'll take away all their rights to make you feel better. So that's kind of what goes on there. That's right. Sean Porter as well. Howard Clegg. That's exactly right. So we're going to talk about that later today. So I'm going to go train. I got to get a workout in, man. I'm physically burned out because I create shorts with my kids for the YouTube during the day when I'm not working. And then I try to bring you guys creative content And I'm fried, man. I'm super burned out doing these shows, and I come here for you and for you alone. And again, if you are going to support my channel, the best thing that you can do is to buy packages of the paid subscriptions, the paid memberships, and then donate those to other people who are like-minded so we can build Team MPE and get the word out. It's start creating parallel systems. So before I go, what I want to tell you guys is make sure that you like and subscribe to all the other people on my channel and start developing relationships with them. A lot of them have small businesses. Even if they're not in your state, they may have a family member. Say you're an air conditioning guy in Arizona, like my buddy Reluctant Prophet. Let's say you've got, you know, a mom who lives in Arizona and you live out of state, but your mom's looking for an air conditioner guy. Well, we have a parallel system. We help each other. And that's the way our founding fathers did it. So we need less than 3% of our original country actually engaged in arms. It actively participated in the revolution against the crown. And so all it takes is a few of us to make strong change in this country. So I want you guys to become friends with each other and develop parallel systems and do business with one another. Get off the government crack and start taking care of each other. Start looking after each other. Develop real relationships. Read the book Adam Smith, Wealth of Nations, where he talks about laissez-faire capitalism, not this crony capitalism that we have today, and develop these relationships where we help support one another because the government certainly isn't trying to help us. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to go work out. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save because we never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. Thank you. What's the matter, you, Mikey B, James, Pro Say America, Grateful Dabs, all you guys, Andrew Myrick, and NAH and Believer, Feeve, Kinetic, all you guys, man. Thank you so much for Selwyn, all you guys for supporting Team FPE. God bless you guys. I'll see you today live on John Felix's channel where we break down what happened to our fishermen. We talk about Long Island audits and we'll do a Q&A